Hi. So it's been a while, and I think I'm just gonna upload this unedited, so I apologize for all the lack of editing and the beard scratching. It has been a while. Lots happened. I officially moved to Canada. I officially immigrated. I had a whole reception party for getting married. So it was kind of like throwing an actual wedding. That was that kind of scale. I've been trying to get a new job. I've been trying to teach myself to do computer programming. So I'm doing like C#, which I've gotten pretty far in, and I'm pretty excited to start looking for gigs. Hopefully this upcoming month of March. But I wanted to post a quick video about Convocation 2020, which just ended yesterday. So I'm recording this the Monday after. Mainly because I think when I initially started this channel, it was just before Convo 2018. And I thought that was a really good like launch time, you know, for these videos and stuff. And so I want to kind of keep up with that tradition of posting specifically about Convocation and my experiences and thoughts with it. Oh yeah, by the way, I moved. I don't know if I've done any videos in this new apartment, actually. I kind of forgot to look back and see what I'd done and all that, so. I'm here, yay! Not only to Canada, but I moved in Canada to a new apartment. Yeah. So this weekend was good. It was probably my least favorite of the three. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I think it's because I wasn't so much looking forward to the theme of this weekend. And I think the reason for that is there was the theme in general was the sphere of Gevora, which is one of the spheres of the Jewish tree of life, which is what Convo is kind of currently iterating through. And so it was wrath is the theme they went with through Gevora, which is only one aspect of Gevora as far as I understand it, and I know very little about it. But what I learned this weekend, specifically from Helen Artsmith's class on spirit guides, is that it's a lot more than just that. It can mean things like transformation, or just sort of destroying that which no longer serves you. So it's a lot more than just judgment or wrath, which is what they decided to focus on with the theme this year. And so I was very hesitant going into this because I knew it was going to be a lot of baneful magic, which of course it was, and a lot of just people feeling that anger and getting into that angry state without being able to have any kind of outlet or ability to pass it on. So the energy at the whole convention was actually kind of weird and not entirely pleasant most of the time, if I'm going to be honest. And I think a lot of it perhaps just had to do with my own perceptions of what was going on. So maybe it was just my view on things and it wasn't like really that way. So it's hard for me to separate my assumptions about what the weekend would be versus what was reality, because I just kind of went in assuming it was going to be kind of weird, and it was weird. So I don't know if I don't know how to parse that, you know. But I did have some really good classes. There were a few really excellent classes. For example, Heart of the Witch's Paths class on spirit guides was fantastic as always. It was fantastic last year. It was fantastic this year. Hopefully she does it again next year, which would be great. Her coven sister Joy did a class on a witch's wardrobe, and it was her first time teaching. She did an awesome job. I got to wear my skirt to con, which was really cool, and she talked about all these different things you can do magically with just everyday wardrobe, which was really interesting. And the one thing that I took most away from that was utilizing a skirt to symbolize a protective sphere. So like like encircling yourself, you know, shielding yourself with a circle of protection a la skirt. So it was really nice to be able to do that kind of stuff. Another wonderful thing I got to do was experience Michel Bélanger for the first time, who's most well known for their psychic vampiric stuff, I guess. I'm not 100% sure. I just heard their interview with Devin Hunter on Modern Witch Podcast, which happened fairly recently. Go check them out. There's 2 of them, I think. And they're really interesting, not just about vampirism, but also about the occult in general, being a television psychic, and all this sort of other stuff. And they were really interesting. I love talking to Michelle. They were good. I bought their book. Psychic Energy Codex, because it's all about sort of the subtle energy of the world, of being a part of an energy body and going on from there. And it kind of goes into explain how psychic abilities is actually just natural abilities, and actually just every human is able to do it. So far, I'm not very far into it, but so far it's really nice. And I wouldn't mind doing like maybe a book review or something when I actually get around to finishing it. If I ever get around to finishing an actual book. I'm really into pirates right now, so I'm also listening to The Republic of Pirates by Christopher somebody. Anyway, that's besides the point. Words. Another cool thing I bought, speaking of being a pirate, is some hair beads, because as you can see, my hair is getting pretty sexy. And so I bought some. I don't know how easily we'll be able to show these off, but that's kind of blurry. But that is a Wunyo rune on a nice little gold bead. And then I've got a Fehu. I can't see through my hand. A Fehu one on this little silver one. Because silver and gold I think is really nice. One thing that Ellen Dugan, I remember hearing through her, was you shouldn't have just silver on. You should have gold as well, because gold symbolizes a lot more than just wealth. It also symbolizes the sun. It symbolizes energy and positivity and all these. Gold is a lot more than just one thing, right? And so I'm trying to incorporate a little bit of gold in my visage. I also bought a stone. Cute little, what is this? Red tiger's eye. That's what this is. I must be really into tiger's eye, because I have these like mala as well, with like a little bead on. I didn't get these from Con, but apparently I'm really into tiger's eye right now. So that was one of the few stones I got. I'm not a huge stones guy. And so occasionally I'll just pick them up. Mainly I picked it up because the energy was so overwhelming on Friday that I had to do something in order to get that energy and ground myself, because the energy was really compact and really strong at that point. It was overwhelming me, and it just totally fucked up my whole Friday. I was unable to like really concentrate, and things got really weird, and I got really trapped inside my head. It was just a weird day. The other big purchase that I made was for my darling wife, Stallion. I bought this from, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. Is it easier like that? I don't know. Bought this from Poking Dead Things, which is a really cool like copper, like these are real mushrooms that they dipped in copper. So check out Poking Dead Things if you are interested in more stuff like this. They have a lot of really great jewelry, a lot of really good things with feathers and all sorts of things. It was amazing. So highly recommended. I thought that was really pretty. That was really cool. So I wanted to give her a gift, and there we go. Let's see. I think, however, one of my other favorite classes, I did 2 other classes that really impressed me besides the 2 I've already mentioned. One was Jack Mercer. His Throwing Bones class. He doesn't have any books or anything out, but he's got a website. And it was really interesting because it was a lot more than just throwing bones. It was also like sort of how to read the bones and how to do all that kind of stuff. I've been my my very slow pull towards like voodoo and hoodoo and all that kind of stuff has been consistent since year one of con. Ever since I started getting exposed to it, I've been more and more intrigued by it and more interested in it. And I think I will one day start to kind of actually take it more seriously. But I can tell the time it's not ripe yet. I can feel it sort of building over time, and it eventually will get to a point that I think I'm going to start studying it. But right now I'm pretty heavily focused on fairy and trying to go down that path. So, yay. So that was really interesting. And another really great class was, of course, the Lady Dame, who is just such a great time every time you see her. She is hysterical. She is crazy informative. I literally couldn't write. I was taking notes on my phone the whole time, and I just couldn't do it fast enough, so I ended up recording it. And somehow the recording did not save, which I'm very sad about, because it was fantastic. And anybody who's never gotten to experience Dame, I highly recommend checking out the Moth podcast, which they're an occasional host on, guest host, co-host. I'm not quite sure. But they're occasionally on there. And she's also got a bunch of like Instagram and all that kind of stuff, and online presence as usual. All the jazz. So other than that, I don't know. I wasn't overly impressed with this particular con. The most I took away from it outside of the classes that I've already mentioned were I began to volunteer. So this year was my first year volunteering, and it was actually a really awesome experience. Everybody on staff was really friendly and really cool and really pleasant, and I really enjoyed doing that. And so I think I might start doing that more frequently. I kind of miss working for conventions because I worked YomaCon, which is an anime convention here in Detroit. I did that for 6 years, here in Detroit. I'm not even in Detroit anymore. I did that for 6 years, and I really enjoyed it. I couldn't physically do it after a while because it was way too demanding. YomaCon was very demanding for that particular weekend. And doing the volunteer stuff was really nice. So I will definitely be considering doing that again in the next year. Woo. I think that's all I really wanted to say. All I really wanted to talk about was kind of my thoughts on con, well, at least my current thoughts on con. I don't know what it'll change like over week, depending on how all of the things. So huge thank you to the con staff for putting it on. I know I was a bit negative about it, but it was just my perceptions. It wasn't necessarily that was the truth. Because capital T truth is something that eludes me always. So thank you very much for the con staff. Thank you very much for everybody who taught. And of course to all of the people I got to hang out with and enjoy that with. It was freaking amazing to hang out with people and see my community again, and see the people that I love, who I only get to see once a year at con. So it was good to see. So anyway, I'm probably gonna upload this all raw and crappy. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much. 2 quick thoughts. 1, check me out on Instagram at instagram.com/fairyfire, or you can also check me out on Patreon. Give me a handle there because I do want to get back into making these videos. I just need to get a new job first, I think, before I can really get back to dedicating myself to making this a regular thing. So you might just see some sporadic videos now and again. So thank you very much. Happy watching, and I forgot what I said at the end. It's, oh yeah, a witch bows to no one, not even the gods. Peace.